Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Dominika Jerzewska. I'm the curator at WMA, Wirtualne Muzeum Antropocenu. And today with me for our artist spotlight talk, I have Judith Leroux. She's one of the artists featured in our exhibition. And I'm going to give a small intro of hers. I'm going to read out her bio, and then I'll give the floor to her so you can listen to her talk about her practice and how it relates to the Anthropocene and how it relates to the consumerism and all of those things. So Judith, lives in Cordoba, Argentina. She obtained a degree in graphic design from university and a Bachelor of Photography. For more than a decade, she has been working with topics related to gender, stereotypes, beauty, fashion, and body image. Within these interesting topics, she has made solo and collective exhibitions in galleries and museums in Cordoba, Buenos Aires, Mexico, and Chile. She also participated with her artwork in several contests and festivals. In regards to prizes and recognitions, Judith won the design contest at the Museo del Traje de Madrid, Maybe and those. She obtained a photography mention at the Foundation Levenshulme contest and was selected at Premio Vital Cultural. Also, she participated as a guest artist at the XM21 meeting Experimental Photo Festival from Barcelona. What is more, Judy has a long experience in activities related to writing art texts, creating and organizing exhibitions from galleries, museums, and festivals. A pretty impressive resume. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us, Judy. It's a pleasure to have you here. And the floor is yours. Can you tell us all about your art and your practice?
Thanks, Dominika, and hello, everybody, and thanks for inviting me to participate in the Artist Spotlight. Thanks for the museum, and thanks for selecting me for the Endless Hunger exhibition. So I was a really pleasure to share with you and the public and stay in the artist talk.
Can you tell us about the work that you have in our exhibition?
Okay. I would like to share the screen.
Mm-hmm.
What is compartir? It's sharing this. Share the screen. Okay. Could you see the image?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Perfect. I would like to talk about my work that takes part from the Endless exhibition. This work called a Perfect Body Success Guarantee. And this picture is part of the big series, but this is the selected to the exhibition. And I use the object in the series. I use the object that represent the paradigm of Western beauty models, which not related the aesthetic of the market, but also the dark and terminal consequences of tyranny of beauty, as a bulimia and anorexia, as diseases as bulimia and anorexia. And use the object that represent the isolation. I use the object as a doll, mannequins, personal scales that represent the isolation, the loneliness, until the death for pursuing this ideal beauty and social acceptance. And in this picture in particular, if you could see, I represent the concept of women, the stereotype of women yin and yang, and I input throw the doll and input the doll into the foam meat tray with an expiration date below, if you could see, with an expiration date written on the label. And the expiration date in this picture I represent with the social acceptance. The expiration date is social acceptance, and no social acceptance. Acceptance, your own body, your own image, the cost or the value that your own acceptance is the health.
Right.
You stay healthy. So this is the idea, more or less. I choose the red color to represent the danger of this type of stereotype, this consuming this type of stereotype of women, and the effect on the women in their self-esteem and their self-perception. No?
Right. I mean, it's a very striking image, to be honest, because it resonates so much, I think, with everyone, especially with women, where you're constantly, since forever, you're told like you have to look certain way, and then you have all the dolls that look a very certain way, and you're just like that. Essentially, like in the case of Barbie dolls, like it doesn't, a company like it doesn't even take into consideration like her figure. Like she doesn't have ribs, which is crazy. And yeah, so I think it's
and
a very
a lot of girls growing up playing with this doll and represent a lot of things, and the impact in the girls, it's too dangerous nowadays too.
yeah. And I also the fact that you just packaged it like meat essentially, and you've given it an expiration date.
Yes, this is idea. It's the meat as an object that you can buy and sell as a supermarket. This is idea, more or less, the for meat tray. It's our body as a meat.
Yeah,
But,
it just shows that it's a product, which is crazy because I mean we're living human beings. Like there's so much happening in the body just to keep us alive, and like everything fluctuates, but there's just like this whole thing of like, no, you have to look a certain way always, which yeah,
it's difficult.
yeah.
And I would like to change the rest of the series, and then this is some of the image that I choose to present here.
Mm-hmm.
This is the same series.
Mm-hmm.
I represent through the doll the illness and how suffer the people that have bulimia and anorexia. The stereotypes, personal scales, the mirrors. Okay, this is it's hard. This is the idea.
What inspired you to create the series?
I inspired my own experience. I have a lot of friends that suffer bulimia and anorexia. So I see the topic in near the people that lives near
Okay.
me. So
Yeah.
it's hard.
Yeah, it's a topic. How do you think we can inspire maybe other people through art to, to talk about more difficult subjects like that, but also how to counter that social pressure, like societal pressure to like
Okay.
way.
I would like, if you want, I would like to share the other works and I talk about that.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
No problem at all.
I always I talk much better when I see the image. And
Of course.
this is my artistic practice, for example. Always I try to work with body gender stereotypes, and focus in the body of women.
Mhm.
This is another series called The Portrait of Nobody. And in The Portrait of Nobody, I took picture of women who didn't belong to the stereotype of beauty standards. And in this series, I tried to took picture, uh, not showing the faces of women, but I interested in show the gesture of shame that you can see there
Mhm.
in front of the gaze of others,
Yeah.
because these women suffer obesity, and it's hard to live with obesity in this society for women. And this is some of the picture of the series. And I choose the background in white to emphasize the gesture,
Mhm.
to keep clean the picture. And this is the last two. It's a self-portrait of nobody, and I represent myself. And use a black clothes. The background is in black too. I choose the black too to represent when you sometimes you hide behind your clothes that you wear. The black colors, it's uh, some women or men use the black wear when suffer obesity. I don't know why, but this
Well,
is.
there's also this whole thing and this whole conviction that black makes you look skinnier, right?
Yes, this is the other idea too.
Yeah.
But it's a wrong idea if you wear clothes in not white, because the white is focusing you on you, but another color, for example, red. I don't know,
Yeah. I
or
mean,
combinated.
it's all like, I mean, for example, I always wear very colorful clothes, and like I wear all different kinds of sizes and shapes because I just love clothes and just I love playing with it. But I think everyone should be able to do it, and just like saying, oh, you have to wear black because you have a certain body type and it will make you look skinnier. Like that's not true, because it's visible if you're not comfortable in the clothes you're wearing, and that has absolutely nothing to do with like the size of your body or like the color you're wearing. Like you need to like what you're wearing in order to feel good in it, because otherwise, no matter what color you wear or like no matter what you're trying to look like, it's still going to be visible that you're not quite comfortable.
Mm.
So
But for example, I don't use the white dress or white
yeah,
clothes.
white is not very practical. Dirty very fast. So it's always a challenge. Whenever I have a white shirt on, it's like I end up with a coffee spill or something like within minutes. It's like, oh, damn it. So I understand.
I continue with
Yeah.
my artist practice? Okay.
Yeah, of course.
And I because some word is related with the consumerism.
Mm-hmm.
In this word, I made last year in the quarantine, called Dress Code Indoors, and it's about how we dress in quarantine.
Okay.
And I introduced the idea of consumption because we always dress to be seen. As consumer, we put certain type of clothes that is much more than just wearing clothes. Has a symbolic value in front of the others. Um, and I try to think about what happened in the quarantine, that people look comfortable and that people, when nobody look at you, you dress in any way, in some way that you don't need to fashionable, or you need to dress for a job, dress for a party. So this is the idea, to show that.
Yeah, also very relatable.
And I try to think that when you cover with a blanket, you protect in some way in front of the others, or the construction of the gaze of others, or how the others look at you. In some way, when the blanket, it's a butterfly, when you cover with your wings, your own
Yeah,
wings.
it's like you cocoon yourself.
Yes. This is the series. This is the last series. I have been working with this project since 2018, 19 until now. And the series is The Body Talks. I talk about the struggles around the world, and the struggles around the world, and the feminists and the cyber activism. This type of struggles disseminate into the world. And I use the mannequin, in this case, a picture of mannequin that I took, to represent a body, a human condition, that represent an individual body and a collective body. I intervene each mannequin with the same typography, but I intervene in different way, because each mannequin has a different struggles. For example, in this case, it's sexual harassment. Talk about sexual harassment, and this is the slogan in different parts of the world. The movement of Me Too. No, Balance Ton Poc is in France. Yo sí te creo in Argentina. Ain't Not Cinderella, it's in India. I use symbols to represent some ideas. And for example, this mannequin I made last year, and I choose the symbol to the red light bulb as a symbol to the struggle of free abortion in Poland. I didn't know. This year I made an exhibition in Poland. I made this mannequin last year. I don't know. I choose the the slogan in different parts of the world.
Mhm.
In Argentina, it's green. It's the color to represent the struggles of the struggle of free abortion, to legalize the free abortion in Argentina. It's about the violence against women. Okay, phobia or the struggles about Black women in the world. About the human trafficking.
Mhm.
No, okay. Unless this is my whole series.
That's really interesting, and I see like several things showing up in your work. You work a lot with representation of the body itself, which is super interesting because I feel like it talks more about the perception rather than what it actually is, which is very different from how it's usually shown. I find it super unique.
Thank you.
Yeah.
One of the question is my art in relation to consumers, not?
Yeah.
It's okay. I use I relate the body with the consumers. I
Mhm.
think, and other things, for example, the fashion.
Yeah.
When I talk about the fashion I made the dress code indoors last year that I show you. When you buy a lot of clothes, for example, when you buy things in necessary, you um, if you don't think the when you buy contaminate, for example, fashion is one of the major contaminants into the world because when the industry of fashion produce clothes,
Yeah.
waste a lot of water to produce these clothes, for example. And when you buy a lot of clothes unnecessary because it's not fashionable, or you buy a lot of shoes. I love buy clothes. It's
Yeah.
not idea, but I think you are more conscious about the act of the buying some things because you contaminate the planet, you create pollution, you create waste, and we live here. We live in this planet.
Yeah.
Currently, when you don't move to the moon to live, you need to live here, and so you need to take care of the planet. For example, when you waste a lot of when you spend a lot of device, a lot of time because um, the system is created that you buy a new one mobile phone each 6 months or a year because they add something, the new technology or
Like
some
a tiny little bit better. It's just like
time
it doesn't really
or
you don't really see
software.
the difference, but it's a little better and it's newer, so you have to have it. Yeah.
Yes, and this the technology create a lot of ways. It's um, and we need to be more conscious about all the things that you don't need to feel pressure about the system. And related to the body, it's the same way. I think the body is an image. We live in a society of the image. We consume image all the time. We consume image of the success, image of the happiness, image of the beauty. And if your body doesn't belong to the stereotype of beauty, sometimes you are rejected. Um, the digital platform and the social media don't contribute to establish a better relationship with your body and with your image. Moreover, the exaggerated narcissist, they promote an exaggerated narcissism about your own image, about your own life, about your own body. For example, with the digital retouching,
Yeah.
that erase all image was not perfect, or retouching the imperfection in your image. And this type of thing is too dangerous, not for women, for all people, for all human beings in reality, because it's in my artwork. For example, I talk about the consumption through the body and how, especially, the body of women transformed into an item of consumption in this system. And a body that can be sold, that can be marketed, that can be valued into the marketplace. And this body fragmented, uniform, standardized as an assembly line product. And it's hard to think to that. Because people, women especially, don't feel happy with their own image, and it's not fair.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of what you see in social media and like all media, like we forget that it's even like on social media when it's like an influencer or someone, like it takes time and resources to look this perfect, this good. Like the biggest accounts are like celebrities. Like it's not that they woke up with like perfect haircut or whatever. No, they have like stylists that get paid a lot of money to make them look that way. So and plus we don't see like the struggles people have behind the scenes. And like everyone has struggles and no one thinks about that when looking at the images. It's just like, oh, they have this perfect lifestyle. I wish my life was like that, or I would look like that. And it's just this vicious cycle of, you know, I want to look this good, but I'll never be this good, which is honestly bullshit.
Yes,
You
of course.
can't live any other way. So,
And the social media is construct is made that people only show the happy moments.
mhm.
You construct to an image to the others see,
Yeah,
and this is the tricky. This is dangerous.
yeah, it's not. It's just a tiny snippet of like the best parts. It's not. You can't even say it's a trailer for someone's life, a movie preview, because it's not. You know, it's like a poster for someone's life, and it's, you know, polished, super nice and polished version of like this is what I would want it to be like. Maybe it's not, but I got this tiny perfect shot in that one little moment. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, and one thing to our audience, if you have questions and
Okay.
please feel free to put them in the comments so we can answer them live. I forgot to mention that before, but at
Yeah,
any
it's okay.
put them in the comments so Judy can answer them.
Okay. Mm, one of the questions that I read about it's what it inspired. You asked me what inspired me,
I asked
and
how you think we as artists, by talking about those topics of consumerism, body image, how we can inspire change in the society, and do you think it's even possible?
mm, I think I believe the artist needs to give a message. This is my own thought.
Yeah.
It's not the truth, but I think as an artist needs to give a message about this topic. For example, about this topic. Moreover, I would like to congratulate before I talk. With this initiative to make this type of exhibition because as an artist and needs to try to give a message through the topic to think the world and to think this type of topic, anthropocene, consumerism, environment, because we need to think how the little action contribute to make a better world, contribute to take care of the planet, contribute to take care our life. If because if the planet uh, um, it's okay, our life is okay. You need to more conscious about the waste and the pollution that we create with the little actions or not, and be responsible to the action that the human beings does every day. Uh, and I'm inspired. Um, for example, Martin Luther King. I'm inspired because he fought for the civil rights and the equal world, and I inspire this type of things because I try to fight with my topics or with my artwork to create conscience about the body and about the image and these things. Um, because I would like women, especially, and people in general, feels more secure and empowering about their own life and about their own image. And look inside. The answer is not outside. Uh, you need to find the answers inside you in our inner soul.
Yeah. There is no other way. Like, because don't you think it's pretty marvelous that we're just like wearing this crazy bodysuit that we get to experience the world, and it does. There's so many things that are happening like outside our control in the body. They just happen automatically. And like, it's like, how can you not love your body? Like, it does so much for you already. Like, it's keeping you alive every single day. So,
Yes, and the body is a friend because it stay with you all your life.
yeah, it's kind of like with our planet. Like, it's not like you can go somewhere else and just live somewhere else. Like, this is what you have. So, make the best of it.
Mhm. Yes,
Yeah.
and um, and the other artist that I like, for example, is as an artist I admire. For example, Shirin Nesta.
Mhm.
It's an Arabic artist that talk about the struggle of women in Arabia, and
Mhm.
it's just, this artwork is so strong. And I like her and Claudia Fontes in Argentina, that lives in Britain, and Eugenio Cutica. It's an artist. It's an Argentinian artist that lives in the United States.
Mhm.
Um, their work are very profoundly because they talk about immigrants and this I really like.
Do you have any works, any projects that you're working on right now?
Yes, I show you.
Sure, if you want to.
This is the last work. I had been working with this project since last year until now. The project called The Women and the Sea. And the first time I worked with the illustration and drawing and collage. This is the idea of the labels imposed on women in the society. And I try to represent the sea as a society and how the role in the society to the women needs to, for example, you should be a mother in the society. I represent that. Or women that not like be a mother. Or teenagers, or the plastic surgery. Women needs to be fit and young forever, and so make a plastic surgery to fit and young forever. I try to symbolize that. Okay, this one.
That's super interesting. And I like how you're, like, in all your works, you're looking at the problem at hand from very different angles. It's like with the mannequins, it wasn't just one. You took a look at the problem for many perspectives, like violence and abortion rights, so much. And same here, like you're looking at like you're working with different perceptions and like how that represents and like creating this cohesive body of work, which is pretty amazing.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to talk about you, and it was a pleasure to talk about Carolina in the tribe. So.
Thank you so much for joining us, Judith.
Yeah, thank you.
Your work is amazing. And thank you everyone who tuned in. If you have any last questions, that would be the time to put them in the comments, so we can still answer them live. But if not, then, well, any last words, Judy?
No, my last word is we need to find establish a different relation with the world, and we need to stop and more things about how the little action affect the life of others and the planet. We need to live more happy. We need to live outside of the matrix of the system. We put the things in perspective to think much better, to see the truth about their behind the system, and behind the system that push we live in certain way, because in the hands of system sometimes our behavior is puppets. It's puppets.
Puppets. Yeah, you're right. I mean, every single action we take has consequences. Like we don't live in a vacuum.
Mm.
Everything you do, every choice you make has, its consequences, good and bad. Like one
Mhm.
action triggers another thing. Like it's just how it works. But thank you so much for joining us. It's been
Thank
truly a
you.
pleasure to meet you. And thank you everyone who tuned in. Our exhibition is still on view until July 31st, and we'll have more artist spotlight talks. So please make sure you follow us on Facebook and on Instagram so that you don't miss any news. And Judy, thank you again so much, and
Thank you to
have
Dominique.
an
Nice to
amazing
meet you.
Saturday. Have an amazing Saturday, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.